Love, Return in Rain. Chapter 4. The flower shop was peaceful with the smell of fresh jasmine and roses filling the air. I was busy arranging a bouquet of yellow lilies when I felt my mind drifting. I couldn't stop thinking about the night at the beach. Sachu, the boy I had helped after his accident. He had been so lost, so confused that night, and the way his eyes looked at me, it had an impression on me. I had tried to forget about it, tried to go back to my normal life, but something about him kept pulling me back. I was lost in my thoughts when I heard the bell above the door ringing. I turned around expecting to see a customer, but instead my heart skipped a beat. It was him, Sachu, who stood in the doorway, looking nervous but determined. He had a soft look in his eyes that I couldn't quite understand. He stepped forward, but before I could say anything, his dog, Flippo, ran past him, happily bounding into the shop. Sachu, I whispered. I was surprised. He smiled, though it was a little unsure. I have been looking for you, he said, his voice quiet. For months. I was stunned. You have been looking for me? He nodded, holding up the scarf I had tied around his wound that night. I kept this, he said softly. Had to find you. My heart raced. I thought you forgot. I admitted I couldn't forget, he said, his voice full of sincerity. I couldn't forget you. A part of me wanted to say something, anything, to show him that I remembered him too, but then I remembered my fiancé standing quietly behind me, holding a rose that he had handed me earlier. I felt trapped, torn between two worlds. Sachu noticed the man behind me, and his expression changed. He couldn't sense the tension, but the heaviness in the air led him to ask, "Is everything okay?" My fiancé asked, his voice cold but polite. I nodded quickly, trying to hide the mess of emotions inside me. But Sachu didn't look away. His eyes were locked on mine, full of questions that I wasn't sure I had answers to. This is my fiancé, I said quietly, my voice almost breaking. Sachu stepped back, hurt flashing in his eyes, but he didn't say anything. I felt like everything had shifted in an instant. The world had gone from clear to unclear, from simple to complicated. Sachu asked, "Are you happy with him?" His words hanging in the air. I didn't know how to answer. I didn't want to hurt him, but I didn't want to lie either. I don't know, I whispered, almost to myself. Sachu took a deep breath, then slowly backed away. You don't have to answer now, but I'll wait for you, always. And with that, he turned and walked out of the shop, his dog following close behind. My mind raced. What had just happened? Why did I feel like something was ending? And what was I supposed to do now? But as the door closed behind him, I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the end. The truth was out there, and I had to face it. Would I stay on the path my family had chosen for me, or would I have the courage to choose love even if it meant defying everything I know. So let's wait for chapter 5, the final chapter of Love, Return, and Rain, to see how this love of Sachu and Sindhu goes upon. A story by Shri.